everyone.
We would like to express that in the video that we're going to film today, we do not hold any of the views that are expressed, and if we did, we'd kill ourselves.
This includes political, religious, and any other views a person can have. Neither of us believe that Hitler and Jesus were in a gay romance together.
Well, I don't think they were, but I need to see evidence.
Enjoy. Hello guys, two guys in a bathtub here, and today we're going to be talking about fan fiction.
The greatest art of the modern day.
So,
we've got a couple beautiful fan fictions for you right now. If we get particularly aroused, we'll read a third one.
So, I want to start with my personal favorite fan fiction. I had me plenty of good time with this when I was younger, and this is called Jesus, Harry Potter, and Kim Jong-un.
Two fictional characters.
I remember
Harry Potter.
Okay, I'm going to read it now.
See? Fanfiction gets you all the pussy.
Jesus was sat on his cloud reading the latest issue of Heat when Harry Potter flew in on his broomstick. Jesus, some guy's fucking shit up in 2013, he informed them. Hop on my broomstick and I'll take you there. They went on their way through the clouds down to Pyongyang, North Korea on planet Earth. They ended up in Kim Jong-un's bathroom where he was where he was taking a bath.
Is Pyongyang anything like Pyongyang?
I think they're sister cities.
Of course.
Like Toronto to like Tranta.
Yeah, good old Trana.
When you're gay, he gasped, standing up. When he stood up, he failed to hide his dong.
Was that Jesus?
No, that was Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
Hide his dong. Jesus and Harry Potter glanced at each other. It's tiny, Jesus chuckled. Kim Jong-un looked down at his little friend and back to the two commoners in his bathroom. They glanced at each other and shrugged. Look, you know this whole nuclear thing. Can you just not? Jesus asked him politely. Thanks, Sin. Fucking accent. Kim Jong-un asked, stepping out of the bath. Harry Potter held his forehead. My scar! Kim Jong-un chuckled deeply and reached for his face, revealing that he was, in fact, Lord Voldemort.
Duh.
Harry Potter whipped out his wand. Avada Kedavra, he screeched. Like that, Kim Jong-un / Voldemort's body disappeared in a flash of light. Well, that was easy, Jesus commented.
So, I get a couple things out of this. The first thing that I get out of this, right, is that Jesus apparently doesn't speak Galilean, he speaks modern English. And the second thing that I get out of this is that Jesus Christ is a spokesperson for Staples.
Yep.
Do you see how this gets you laid?
I didn't really get an opportunity to expand on my feelings about fan fiction, but I think now that we've read this beautiful story by Bert Wilson, I think it's a beautiful opportunity to talk about it.
Well, you know, if you're going to talk about analytics, right, you've got the greats. You've got Mark Twain, George Orwell, Bert Wilson. So if you're going to expand on anything, expand on the great writings of Mr. Wilson. No.
I gotta say, I think this is a literary piece right up there with the Iliad.
Yeah, well, it's funny because, like, you don't hear about a lot of writings where it's multiple languages, right? But we explore English in this piece, we explore Korean, and we explore Jesusian English.
Jesusian
English. The finest form of English. It's, you know.
The only thing I don't understand is how do Harry Potter and Jesus know each other?
Well, they're both magicians, obviously. They're both magicians, and they both have a scar.
Was Jesus a wizard?
Dude, he turned water into wine. Duh. You gotta keep in mind, Harry Potter also sacrificed himself on a cross. Have you read Deathly Hallows? It's in there. I
don't read children's books.
Children's books? Harry Potter is for adults who look like children, not for children.
24 to 24. I think it's a masterpiece. 24
to 24. I give it a nuclear arms race out of Cold War.
I wonder if Jesus confirmed that Donald Trump's button is definitely bigger than Kim Jong-un's.
Donald Trump has a bigger button than all of us. You know what? You know what? No, I'm changing my rating. I'm giving it a my missile out of your missile. you want to move on to the next one?
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, so when I was mentioning the great writers of the history of mankind earlier, there are two that I left out: Margaret Atwood and Ancras. Now they have one fundamental difference between the two of them. Margaret Atwood's not on fanfiction.net, so I think we can conclude that Ancras is clearly the superior writer, and that's why we're going to be reading his work. So we've got a carryover character from our previous story. Here is chapter 1 of Jesus and Hitler, a Romance. In the year 2025, in the halls of the Reichschancellery, a German soldier was running to an office. When he reached the door, he drop-kicked it open. Mein Führer! The Americans are inside Berlin! Adolf Hitler, king of Neo-Germany, looked up from his Volksdesk rapidly. Let's take a break here. I think Volksdesk literally translates to people's desk. Mein Gotthimmel, I must escape, he said in English. Quickly he ran to his secret underground laboratory. Scientists were running around and conducting scientific experiments. At the same time, while some of the scientists were panicking, the rest of them were like, I wonder if we can build a V3. Wait a minute, it's 2025. Okay. Activate the time machine, shouted Hitler. Hitler could hear Americans shouting in the tunnel behind him. McDonald's! Murdering innocent German scientists and soldiers to satiate their bloodlust. Because if you're working in the Reichschancellery, you're a blue-collar man. But mein Führer, the temporal coordinates are not set. You could be sent anywhere! It is irrelevant, fool. I must survive so that National Socialism can continue. As it has ceaselessly since 1945. The thoroughly chastised scientist activated the time machine, and Hitler was thrown through time to 29 Anno Domini. When Hitler stepped through the portal, he saw a beautiful man with blue eyes and a long beard. If you don't know your history, this is 4 years before the crucifixion. Greetings, my son, he said. Hitler looked around. Where am I? In Israel, my son. It was called Israel back then. Come have lunch with me. My name is Jesus Christ. Hitler was instantly amazed. He had been a devout Christian all his life, and he was honored to eat dinner with Jesus. During lunch, Hitler explained the tenets of National Socialism to the Messiah. To his delight, Jesus loved it. Feed the poor. But if you don't have food on you, put them on the train. Within an hour, Jesus was won over to National Socialism.
But there's a bit of a plot hole. Wasn't Jesus a Jew?
The OG hippie. Jesus wasn't a Jew. Jesus was black. Hitler felt joy in his heart. National Socialism would live again. While they were talking, no comma, Hitler found himself checking out Jesus' tight bod. If he wasn't Führer of Germany, but he wasn't Führer anymore, was he? That night, when Hitler and Jesus were in bed together, Hitler said, Jesus, what do you think of love between men? What do you mean, Hitler? Asked Jesus. Hitler took a deep breath. He would have to be bold. This is what I mean. He leaned over and started Frenching with the Lord.
Amen.
Amen. At the same time, he reached down and started tugging on his already turgid member. Jesus Christ slept in the buff. Jesus broke off the kiss. Hitler, I don't know if I can do this. It feels so good, so right. But I'm afraid. I've never been with another man before. I've never been with a man either, Jesus. I'm scared, just like you are. But we cannot fears rule us. I love you, Jesus. Do you love me? Hitler's eyes had tears in them. Poor guy. I used to feel sorry for him, but now... Jesus smiled. Yes, Hitler, I love you. They embraced. Again, they kissed passionately. Hitler continued to jerk Jesus Christ off. When he began...
There goes our
Today's episode is brought to you by Reichslery Dildos. Reichslery Dildos. Mein Gott, das feels gut. Oh my God. When he began to tense up, Hitler lowered his head to Christ's stiff member and caught Christ's sticky seed in his mouth. There was an incredible amount of it, and it splashed everywhere. When Hitler rose up again, Jesus locked lips with him. He could taste his own salty semen in Hitler's mouth, and he didn't care. Jesus was happy for the first time in his life. So, little drummer boy, you've got to step it up, because that jam wasn't quite as good as Hitler's jam.
Nobody does it for Jesus like Hitler.
You know what's ironic? This fanfiction is kind of turning me on to the idea of eugenics.
Eugenics?
It's like, next! I wrote a fanfiction. Column B. I think it's your turn.
Alright, well, I just want to comment on that. I think that was a beautiful, beautiful poem, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to give it a swastika. Out of cross. They just belong together.
You know what? They do, and here's the thing that I was thinking about, is because everybody debates on, you know, on what side of the political spectrum National Socialism is on, right? Because you have some people who say it's left-wing, and you have some people who are correct. So when you pull that together, when you see that the OG communist, Jesus Christ, can get along with the second from OG fascist, I mean, you know, Mussolini took over Ethiopia, that's not impressive. Hitler took over Europe, right? Mussolini can suck a dick. Actually, fuck Benito Mussolini, put that in a subtitle. Pussy. Anyway, so I found that the two sides of the political spectrum can come together. So, at the end of the day, I think I'm going to give it an anti-Nazis are just as bad as Nazis.
So, sorry for the change, the camera was dying. So we're going to change pace a little bit. We're going to move away from Bible fanfiction and go more in the direction that we've been leading towards, which is pornography. And we're going to start this with a beautiful Jurassic Park fanfiction called Root Her Rehost. Robert Muldoon was not a man to be trifled with. For years he had plied his trade as a big game hunter in Kenya, utilizing every scrap of his savage cunning and imposable physical frame, as well as his arsenal of highly explosive weaponry, to a smart outmaneuver. Okay, this is boring, let's move on. He couldn't deny he was beginning to feel restless. Just as he was contemplating a change of career, his self-reflection was cut off by a loud metallic clang, as the final pylon was hauled into place atop the heavy-duty maximum security enclosure being erected behind him, reminding him...
You said erected.
It'll be us in a few minutes, don't worry. Reminding him that it had been a long, long time since he'd been involved in erections of a more personal nature. Damn, you called that.
What up?
Absently, he adjusted his crotch as he picked up his radio and signaled to the foreman that the enclosure was ready for its occupants. Moving on.
Oh dear God.
Hola, Senor Muldoon, one of the workers called up to him as they passed by. Muldoon peered at him, trying to make out who it was. Ah, yes, he thought, as recognition set in. That'll be young Joffrey, like the prince from that show, The Game of Thrones.
Or that guy who dies in Oblivion.
Oh shit, yeah. But so a few men on the island who never really got credit for anything. One of those men, InGen CEO John Hammond, is constantly referred to as our delightfully expendable workforce. They're like the Republicans. Too political?
No.
Muldoon nodded curtly to young Joffrey, making sure to maintain eye contact for slightly longer than was socially acceptable. Joffrey smiled back coquettishly.
Wait a minute. Republicans don't run Tim Hortons.
Oh, shit. And gave him an almost effeminate wink. Wiping his mouth slightly, Muldoon once more adjusted himself, went back to surveying the surrounding area, trying very, very hard not to think about how long it had been since he'd given his rifle a good cocking.
Oh my.
What a euphemism.
Does he mean his penis?
No. I think he wants to kill people.
With his penis?
Is he a cop? Was that political?
We can edit that out.
Trim the fat.
Trim the fat? I've already skipped a lot of fucking paragraphs.
He didn't just skip a paragraph, he skipped a set of graphs. Please love me.
And then they continue to raise the gate, but they overly describe it and have conversation with it. Quickly, Joffrey clambered on top of the cage and began to do as he was told, raising the gate. He knew all too well what manner of creature they were dealing with, and he didn't want to waste any time getting it securely behind those 12-foot thick concrete walls lined with high voltage electric fences.
That's what I use to protect my penis.
As he leaned forward to grab the gate release, however, the creature made its move. With a loud shriek, it threw itself against the panel next to the bolts Madoon had loosened, ripping the door from its hinges and knocking the cage back, sending Joffrey crashing onto the unforgiving jungle floor below and jarring every bone in his body. Joffrey screamed at the top of his lungs as he was dragged forcibly back inside the cage, powerless to resist the creature's superior strength.
What did he scream?
Oh, baby. I don't know.
I'm picturing the guy from Oblivion being like, "Oh, Martin! There's some bullshit happening, Martin!"
Joffrey howled in terror as his efforts to stay put failed. Unable to break the creature's hold, he cracked his head brutally against the side of the cage and lost all ability to resist as the sense became groggy.
Wait. Sorry. Is he like trying to escape? And he's like, "Oh fuck, maybe this'll work." Just like breaks his fucking face open.
Well, the best acting is getting in the role, right? You know, they say playing dead is how you get away from an animal.
True.
Knock yourself out.
So this way, if I kill myself, I'll escape.
A rank odor of decaying meat and feces lined the air of the cage, and it was all he could do to suppress his gag reflex the way his gym teacher had taught him.
It's like working at Tim Hortons.
As his head cleared slightly, he was able to make out the dreadful beast which snared him. Standing almost 8 feet high was mauled brown and green-skinned row of curved serrated teeth with a velociraptor and her hopas, a killing machine of almost unsurpassed intelligence, lethality, and sexual appetite. Its long forearm...
Wait a minute. This is about me.
It's... Fuck. How do they gauge the sexual appetite of this creature? Fuck. Its long forearms...
I like leather and balloons.
Its long forearms ended in 5 muscular digits, each sporting an intimidating-looking claw. It leered at him wickedly, and Joffrey knew his end was nigh.
Jordan, I've got an intimidating-looking claw for you.
Skipping some paragraphs of him getting fucking messed up.
Wow. That'll hurt your asshole.
Her eyes were still marked with ferocious hunger, but it was not for shredded meat she seemed to slave her. She clearly only wanted the meat intact. Joffrey couldn't believe his luck. Slowly she backed away from him. They coyly turned around so her bird-like hips were on full display mere inches from his face.
What do bird-like hips look like? I've never... They're like...
Have you ever just like sat there and looked at a chicken ass and you're like, that's a good looking ass?
Wide at the bottom, thin at the top.
Look at your mom.
Oh.
Oh god. As he began to drool... Oh god. She started to shake her hips from side to side seductively. Delicately spraying him with gallons upon gallons of dinosaur sex pheromones. She added some gland that all velociraptors had, but that didn't get fossilized with the rest of them because it was too soft somehow. The writer's explaining how we never knew about this.
I figured out our band name. Dinosaur Sex Pheromones. First album coming soon.
It's pretty good. Cautiously first, lest he somehow alarm her or turn her off, Joffrey began to lightly rub the area around her velocigina. It actually says that. Velocigina.
By God. Velocigina.
There is no God. If there is, he loves Hitler.
I think I want a
Oxford's dictionary.
Jai. My God. This is the best story I have ever been told.
Nuzzling the rough pebble-like folds of skin surrounding it with his tongue.
It's like...
Oh my god! The creature howled with a terrifying primordial delight and thrust herself back against Joffrey's mouth, knocking out his front teeth and ramming his lower jaw deep inside her.
A bedazzled pussy will do that.
What the fuck? I'm going to call it there. Because there's still another 20 paragraphs, and I don't think we need to hear more about Velocigina. At least not on camera.
I give it... I wish I could write that well. Because, you know, we've got Chain of the Succubus coming out soon, right? So you'll be able to see that I can put pen to paper, but nothing like that. Like, that's just raw talent. That is raw talent. I'm gonna give this story a out of Velocigina.
I'm gonna give it a rough, sandy dino clitoris out of Velocigina.
We need to get back to basics. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus and Hitler, a Romance, Chapter 6. Jesus Christ stepped out of the trireme's cramped cabin, stretched, yawned, and looked at the horizon. 80, come quick! Adolf Hitler emerged too and gave Jesus a hug from behind. What's up, babe? The Lord pointed to the horizon, where a bustling port could be seen. We made it! Sparta, here we come. What did we miss? I like the sound of that, said Hitler, reaching down and grabbing Christ's junk and licking his ear. This is how couples casually behave. Did you know that? Like, you're just hanging out, like, one of you's making coffee, and then one comes up, it's like, what's good? You know, these are relationship goals. If you want to have
goals.
There are three essential elements to a successful relationship. You need communication, you need trust, and you need to emulate the relationship that exists between Jesus of Nazareth and Adolf Hitler. Their animal lust was so intense that they couldn't wait to get back to the cabin. The Fourrure bent Jesus... They still spelled Führer wrong, but it's different wrong now.
They learned over the 6 chapters.
The Fourrure bent Jesus over the railing and was easily accepted into the Lord, despite minimal lubrication.
Easily accepted into the Lord.
I think what I've learned here is that apparently Jesus has a well-lubricated ass.
Oh my fucking God.
The rhythmic slapping sounds could be heard across the ship. We're on a ship, but the crew was accustomed to Greek love being committed on vacation tours. I have never heard anal being referred to as Greek love. That is fabulous.
Oh my God.
That is fucking magnificent.
And did you say fanfiction is not good at writing exercise?
I didn't say that.
Because this is fucking art.
My God. I am being introduced to a whole bunch of new concepts, such as the leader of National Socialist Germany being the Führer, or making some Greek love. I just
accepted into the Lord.
Succulent. Oh my God. I heard that Jesus will accept everyone, but this is too far.
Don't bring whole new meaning.
Fuck. Now, okay, so you've seen 300, right? So you know the part where Leonidas starts asking the other Greeks like what they do for their day job, and like one's a cook, one's a farmer, and they say that all Spartans are warriors, right? All Spartans are warriors. Next paragraph. Their Spartan tour guide walked up to them at the dock and said, "Hello, my name is Prepeth, and I will guide you around Sparta on your visit here." I am a warrior. I am a warrior poet. I'm the tour guide. It's like it's such a masculine society, and then you got poor fucking Priapus here. Both men noticed that the 21-year-old guide had a noticeable bulge in his pants, which grew larger as he noticed them noticing. You're like, I got what you need. What do Greeks sound like?
I don't fucking know.
It's not that. I promise.
You sound like a fucking illegal immigrant.
Sure.
From Greece. I think I know what you like, he said, winking. He told them about an amazing Spartan ritual called Cryptia, where the hunkiest Spartans go out into the night and have their way with helots, a subject people who had to take it. My life. The couple eagerly threw down 20 shekels. Did you know that the shekel was the currency of ancient Sparta? Was Sparta around in 29 AD? I don't know. We're gonna have to fact check that. Anyway, the couple eagerly threw down 20 shekels for a guided Cryptia expedition, and were promised to be guided to an area with the hottest and most hung legal hunks, who all said they had girlfriends. But when they went down from the hotel room, they saw a big crowd gathered in front waving signs in Greek! Helot Lives Matter was being... What? Really? You know, I'm not one of those all lives matter douchebags, but I can back this up. Helot lives do in fact matter. Was being shouted by multiple Greeks, not just a couple. Like, it's what we rally behind. Prabius, what the heck is going on? Said Adolf Hitler. The Helots are rebelling. That's kind of... I sounded like a nightclub owner from Munich.
So I have our fact checks.
Okay.
So the shekel was first introduced in 66.
1966?
No, AD.
Okay, so 40 years too early.
And Sparta died in about 192 BC.
So, roughly equivalent. You have a story that takes place today, and then an Ottoman warrior shows up like, hey man, what's good? Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So just catching up here, Jesus and Hitler are on vacation in Greece. And their tour guide, Priapus, he doesn't know what's up. Hitler has just asked Priapus to explain the situation to him. So, Priapus says, "The Helots are rebelling. This happened because a Helot was killed during a Crypteria expedition, and the killer, a military-style assault gladius that had black leather handle and astroglobe built into hilt. Never leave home without your astroglobe sword. It's almost like leaving without your astroturf dagger. You just can't do it." Hitler shivered. When he was Furor, we went back to the original writing. When he was Furor of Germany, he had banned all such weapons because he wanted everyone in Germany to be safe. But the Lord Jesus Christ said, "This is an outrage. They want to violate my regative to use edged weapons to protect my loved ones and upend the social order." I mean, that's what Jesus did, though. The Anointed One strode out onto the stage and said, "Excuse me, I would like to read from my husband's bestseller, the Holy Bible." Oh, sorry, the Anointed One is Hitler now. He held up a book that had Hitler's face printed on the cover and read from Ephesians 60.
Wait, did Hitler write the Bible?
In 29 AD, Mein Kampf and the Holy Bible. Same book.
What is this?
See, let's back up here. This actually explains some things to me. Because I've always wondered, Jesus' followers, want to be like him, right? He set the example. But Jesus was Jewish. Just joking, he was black. But why would you not be Jewish if that's what your Lord is, right? This is why. This is the reason.
Because it's also Mein Kampf?
I mean, if you want to get nitpicky. But the Lord Jesus Christ said, "This is an outrage." Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Oh my God, we're at the end. The anger on the faces of the Helots fell away when they absorbed the Führer's wisdom and realized that this was not the way to conduct their lives. "Thank you, Lord, for showing us the erpor of our ways," said the Helot leader. The Son of God smiled. "Don't thank me. Thank Hitler." He pointed to the Furor, who said, "Don't thank me, it was Prapius who brought us here." Okay, So the credit went from Jesus to Hitler to the Greek tour guide. All right. He turned to point out that the well-endowed Spartan, but he had vanished, leaving behind only some sparkling in the air. Spoiler alert: Prapius, Mary Poppins. Hitler, you don't think that was the Prapius? I don't know, honey, but he has left us with a great gift. Both men were extremely aroused. Once again, Christ bent over a railing in full view of a crowd of Greeks. This is going to be a great holiday after all. Merry Christmas, Jordan.
Merry Christmas.
Well, what do you give Chapter 6 of Jesus and Hitler?
Oh my god. I'm gonna give it a Mein Kampf out of the Holy Bible. Which,
reasonable.
as we now learned, is the exact same, so I guess it's a perfect score.
Self out of itself. I'm gonna give it a Greek tour guide out of a blasphemy.
Alright, well, I'm gonna call it there, guys. I'm gonna say that's enough torture for everyone today.
Do you think if we start filling the tub now, it's enough to drown both of us?
I hope so. After that, I hope so.
Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
There is no God.